Welcome back to Bottas Career Mode on F126. Today we're back for episode 2, our first sprint race of the season in China. We do have some resource points. Sergio is developing something for the rear downforce, so I guess we'll find something else. There we go, engine power upgrade. I think we'll do the standard development. I feel like engine upgrades are going to be really important with how these cars work. All right, well, not much more we can do. So into the race weekend we go, round 2. So for round 1 in Australia, we had a couple of problems throughout the race. One being the rear end of the car was like incredibly unstable. It was really difficult to go into hard braking zones without locking the rears. So it's seeming like it's a lot easier to manage right now. I'm guessing it was just a setup related issue. So right now, this setup feels a lot easier to drive. So just like last time out, I'm setting the bar pretty low. I'm not expecting much out of this race. We still are in a pretty slow car in terms of the performance index. We don't have too much pace. And on top of that, this is still a completely new style of car. There's still a learning curve with how to drive these. Okay, into sprint qualifying. Hopefully we can get a good result here. The pace in practice was a bit, like, ambiguous. I don't really know how fast we are around here, but we'll find out. That's our lap in Q1 across the line, and we'll see where it puts us. Okay. Yeah, that I guess that's to be expected. Well, it's raining. We've got inters for the entirety of the sprint race. Hopefully we can make something happen. All right, parked up at the back of the grid here, P20. Definitely need a good start for our first sprint race of the season. The 5 red lights are on, and we are racing for 10 laps in the rain. Really good launch off the line. We're gonna go down the inside all the way down into turn 1. And try to get past our teammates up the inside through this long right-hander, just trying to sneak through up to P13. We can try around the outside on Lindblad, just struggling for traction on the exit. We can start to pull ahead of the Racing Bull. Ocon in front. We're definitely close enough to go for a move on the Haas down the inside. Ocon defending. But that's up to P11 right off the start. That's exactly what we needed. We've got Albon in front now, but the grip levels are definitely low. We have a dry setup on the car, so it's going to be tricky. On to lap 2. The cars in front are starting to pull away. We still got Ocon right on us, and we can't use any of our battery in the rain. So this is purely on pace. Ocon up the inside. Around turn 1, we can close the door as the corner tightens up. I have a feeling we're going to be doing a lot of defending. It's really difficult to start putting the power down around this corner, especially with such low grip on the rear end. But onto the straight we go. Again, no battery to help us defend, and Ocon is alongside, starting to reel us into the hairpin. Colapinto's thinking about a move as well. We're going to have to defend from the outside. Around the hairpin we go. Try to swoop around the outside of the Haas, putting the power down on the exit, pulling ahead of Ocon, keeping P11. But that is going to be a lot of fighting into that corner. Yeah, all these guys in front are already completely running away. 4 seconds to Albon. So we're losing time when we're fighting with Ocon. And we already don't have that much pace in this car. I really cannot trust the car through this corner. We're getting bad exits every time. It's just, it's gonna kill us by the end of the straight. Yeah, there's Ocon once again, gonna just squeeze him to the inside of the track. We'll take the dry line. So we should have a little bit more grip around the outside of this hairpin. Ocon pulls ahead. We're gonna dump the power on exit. We might have a look up the inside into the final corner. Past the Haas once again. Dude, this straight is brutal. This is gonna be every single lap. There's Ocon again. We're going to be forced to go down the inside into the hairpin off the dry line, locking the front bad exit as well, trying to pull ahead of Ocon. And we'll keep our place once again, but this is going to be literally constant. Dude, I can't get this level of grip down out of this corner. I don't know how they're getting such good exits onto the straight, but once again we're under attack. There's Ocon up the inside. We've got a Racing Bull around the outside as well. It's leaving us with not a lot of options. Into the hairpin, really close to contact with the Racing Bull. Trying to get the power down on exit. We can try to get a move done up the inside into the final corner. At least we'll get one place back. The dry line is starting to form a little bit better, so hopefully we can get some more grip and get Ocon back. But we're lacking pace. Well, it was only a matter of time before we were under pressure once again into the hairpin. We're squeezing the Racing Bull onto the wet part of the track. So we should have the dry line, but there's someone else on the outside threading the needle through the hairpin past the Alpine, powered down on the exit past the Racing Bull too. Oh, this is ridiculous. Well, on to the final lap. Not the best sprint race we could have had, that's for sure, but these two still have one more opportunity into that hairpin to try to go for a move. So if we can close the door, we'll take home P11. Here we go, one last time defending into this hairpin. This time, we are just gonna completely hog the dry line, and hopefully we just have more grip into the hairpin. We're 3 wide into the corner. We have to go a bit deep to leave the space on the inside. Still 3 wide on the exit. More traction, and we can pull ahead. Keeping P11, defending the entire length of the sprint race, and across the line. A little out of control. Oh god. Well, P11 isn't a bad result given the car. I think I'm just used to placing a bit higher. All right, into Q1. Hopefully we can qualify a little bit higher than P20. I think that's where we were in Australia too. But the rain might make it tricky. We'll see. Okay, first lap of Q1 across the line, and it's P9. Okay, I mean, we're gonna get bumped down, but that's not bad. Okay, final lap in Q1. It's feeling like there's a bit more grip now, so we'll see what we can do. Okay, 2.7 seconds up on our previous time. Across the line, purple in sector 1 somehow at first? What? I mean, I know that it was a good lap. We went purple in sector 1. I don't know how. 4/10 up. Dude, I'm shocked. I have I have no idea what to say. That's insane. First lap of Q2 on a used set of inters across the line with a 1:48.0. That puts us P4. What's going on? How do we have so much pace all of a sudden? The track is definitely starting to dry out. We're losing a little bit of grip on the inters. I'm thinking it might be time for dries pretty soon. We're not even going to improve on our second lap in Q2. But I think, yeah, we're still fine. What is happening? Well, I didn't think I'd say this so early on into the career mode, but into Q3 we go. We're still on the inters. Everyone else is using them, so we'll do one lap and kind of test out the track. I think by the end of this session, we'll probably be on the dries. Okay, first lap of Q3 is a 1:47.3. That puts us P7. Which I think is just at the bottom. Okay, I think it's time for the slicks. Let's see what yeah, Ocon's on the softs. Okay, it's time for the softs. Hopefully there's enough grip. We'll see. Okay, well, we really have nothing to lose. Even if we don't get a good time and we start P10, that's a great result for this car. We have battery now. Everyone else is already on their lap. Oh my god, that is huge. We have such an advantage. Okay, well, we're looking at a good result here. Just gonna lock in. around the final corner. Purple in the first 2 sectors. We've got 5 seconds of improvement, and it's pole position. It's pole position in China. Round 2. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's insanely unfair that everyone else started their lap and then we get the battery to use on our lap. Yeah, 1 second clear of Piastri in the Cadillac. Dude, that's insane. I'm not gonna cut this section of footage. This is the 110 AI. That is just incredibly lucky. Like, I did not, I swear to you, I did not put the difficulty down. That's actually insane. I mean, we had the battery, which, yeah, that's obviously super unfair, but for some reason, like, especially Q2, we went first in Q1, we had pace in Q2. I don't really understand, like, where that came from. I guess the AI were just kind of weird about the track drying out. But yeah, here's the settings. Look, I'm telling you, like, what? I don't really get how we just all of a sudden had pace. Like, literally starting from Q1. That's really weird. But anyway, yeah, pole for China. Let's do it. I'm not really sure what to do for strategy here. So the default is to start on hards. I think we should start on the mediums, at least give ourselves a chance to defend. But 6 laps on the softs at the end does seem kind of dumb, but you can't make these tires last that long at the beginning of the season with no upgrades. So we'll try this out, see how the race unfolds, but here we are on the formation lap, leading the way. That is insane. So I'm not expecting to win the race. I'm not even expecting a podium. We are in the second to worst car on the grid, so we are going to be very slow. But hopefully we can at least get points. That's the only goal here. Okay, well, we're parked up in P1. Just gonna wait for everyone to pull up. This is, like, shocking. Well, I don't think anyone was expecting me to say this, but here we are starting the race from pole position. 5 red lights are on, and we are racing for round 2 in China. Really good launch off the line. We'll be safe into turn 1, so through the first corner, we are leading the race. We are much slower than the cars around us, so we're gonna have to pick and choose our battles wisely here, but we've already got one. Down into the next corner, there's Piastri around the outside. Down the inside we go, covering off Piastri and keeping P1. This is insane. Here comes Piastri once again. He's got the inside for this left-hander contact with the McLaren. He kind of bumps into us. He is gonna pull ahead by the time we get onto the straight. We can get a much better exit this time with a dry track. We've got the battery, so we can start reeling in the McLaren and take back P1 down the straight. Into the hairpin we go. Back in first place. We've got the battery this time around, so we have a lot more options to defend. Here we go, across the line, and that is officially 1 lap led in the 2026 season for Cadillac. That is ridiculous. We're gonna see another move from Piastri here around the outside. I'm not gonna defend it too hard, but if there's a chance to keep him behind, we're definitely gonna take it side by side, but Piastri pulls ahead. And that is probably goodbye to P1. Yeah, Piastri's already a second up the road. We're definitely fighting above our weight. There's Hamilton up the inside, but we should be close enough to get him back on this straight. We just need a good exit, but we've got plenty on the battery. Yep, here we go. We're gonna get a move done on Hamilton, faking to the inside, taking the racing line for the hairpin, a little too deep on the brakes, around the outside, side by side now with Hamilton. Gonna try to get a move done up the inside on the Mercedes. Heading on to lap 3, still side by side with Hamilton, but we will be close enough to send a dive down the inside into the first corner on lap 3, still side by side with Hamilton, trying to keep the traction through the corner around the outside, and that should be enough to keep P2. I know I said I'm not going to fight this too hard. We shouldn't be battling with Ferraris and McLarens, but if there's anyone we should defend against, It's Lewis Hamilton, Bottas' former teammate.
Boundary, it's James. Please abort the fastest lap attempt before the end of the lap.
So this is a chance to prove how good Bottas really is in the Cadillac, still in P2. We've used a lot of battery so far. We're gonna have to do a big lift and coast into the hairpin, which invites Leclerc down the inside, still side by side on exit with the Ferrari. Battery enabled, pulling ahead, and still again in P2, on to lap 5. Well, Piastri is completely gone, 8 seconds up the road, but I do think it's still worth defending because we're still on the first stint, so we're not technically losing any time, and I don't expect to win anyway, so Piastri can go ahead and just leave us in the dust. On to lap number 6. We might see a move from Leclerc here down into turn 1. We're going to take the racing line, try to close the door. On corner entry, a little bit of contact with the Ferrari, just trying to keep a little bit of grip. Got the inside for the next lap. Leclerc is going to get better traction on the exits, dumping the battery, but he is running away down to the next corner. Have to go a little defensive for Hamilton behind, and Leclerc is going to be gone now. We're probably going to see a move from Hamilton down into the hairpin. We've got a lot stored up on the battery though, so we should be able to pretty easily defend from the Ferrari. Here comes Hamilton. He's going to pick the inside. We've got the racing line side by side under braking around the outside of the hairpin and keeping P3. This is a lot of defending. We're still in the first stint for a couple more laps, but after that we're going to have to slow it down. Here comes Hamilton once again down the straight. We're a little bit less on the battery this time around. Gonna squeeze the Ferrari to the inside of the track. We've got the racing line. Into the hairpin we go. Try to make it work around the outside yet again. Still side by side with Hamilton's Ferrari. Around the final corner onto lap 9. Still alongside Hamilton. Into turn 1. We've got the boost mode. We'll pull ahead of the Ferrari. This is inviting Verstappen into the fight. We are really holding up these guys. I guess it's Verstappen's turn to put us under pressure. Around the outside he goes. Should be a pretty easy move to cover off. Back up onto the podium on lap number 9. We've got a lap to go until we're on the hards. Hopefully this isn't hurting us. Have to lift and coast here. Charge up the battery a little bit more, up to 100%. Verstappen might get us here. He's got a lot of traction on the exits. We're right behind the Red Bull now. Plenty on the battery. We have boost mode as well, so it should be very easy to get past this Red Bull on the straight, right alongside Verstappen, back up into P3. We've got Antonelli joining the fight as well. There's someone down the inside into the hairpin. It's Verstappen side by side again with the Red Bull into the final corner. We've got the inside to try to get past Verstappen, dumping the battery on exits. Finally, we can pull ahead. Our pit window is now open on lap 10, so we're going to switch onto the hards. And on the second stint, I think we're not going to prioritize defending as much. It doesn't hurt us right now on the first stint, but I think it will after. Okay, into the pit lane we go. After a very intense first stint on the mediums, 10 laps in, still in P3 as we switch on to the hards. Looking pretty good for points. Well, the crowd has spoken. Here are the mustache mechanics for Bottas there. On to the hards we go. Decent stop time, 2.3 seconds. Back onto the track. Down in 19th place. Make that 20th. So before we came in, those mediums were at almost 60% wear, especially on the front left. So I don't think it's possible to just do a one-stop. I think we're going to have to do those softs at the end. We're in a bit of a weird situation here. So obviously at this stage in the race, We don't want to waste our time defending against the Ferraris and McLarens and Red Bulls. We should just let them through and save our time. But we do still have to defend against someone like Ocon, who is steadily gaining. So we're going to need to pick our battles. Okay, we've gained a lot of time on the Aston Martins. I think they're going to have to pit soon. Albon is putting pressure on. He's going to have to pit as well. So I think we are still in a pretty good position here. We're in P7 still. I think we'll finish in the points. We've got Verstappen behind us now. He's going to be going for a move towards the hairpin. We've got a lot of the battery. There's no point in letting it sit. So we should use the boost mode. But we just got to let him by without losing too much time ourselves. Around the outside, there goes Verstappen. Okay. I think we're still going to have the overspeed on Verstappen. We're gaining on him. We're going to have to go for a move on the Red Bull, touching the grass into turn 1. And that's up to P3. I really don't want to be fighting these guys, but it kind of leaves you no choice with the whole battery thing. I mean, I don't know. Unless these guys are all doing a one-stop, then it is worth fighting because we're up to P3. So if they have to pit again, then this is all for position. I don't know if they're able to pull that off, but maybe it is worth defending. On to lap 21. We've got Russell gaining on us down into the first corner. I think we're going to try and keep the Mercedes behind a little too wide around the first corner. That invites Russell up the inside. We've got the inside for the next corner, but Russell's going to get way better traction on the exit. There he goes, dumping the battery. Maybe we can stay close enough for a dive down the inside into the next right-hander, side by side for just a second. A terrible exit, and that's us down to P4. But I just still can't tell if it's worth defending. Lap 22, pit window is open for the softs. Hopefully this is the right call. I don't think these tires would make it to the end, but we'll see. We've got Antonelli behind now. He's definitely going to be gaining down the straight, so this might get a little awkward with the pit lane entry. There goes the Mercedes down the inside. We really need to stay ahead of Antonelli so we don't get held up going into the pits. Still side by side on exit. Gonna have to dump the battery to get ahead of the Mercedes. And luckily, we can get into the pits without a problem. Okay, on to the softs we go. Okay, round 2 for the Mustache Mechanics. On to the soft compound tire, our final stop of the race. And we'll see where we come out, down to P17. And everyone else is on the softs. What?
Sergio's in the pits.
Oh, there's no way. Yeah, they're not pitting. These guys in front are on their final stint. Yeah, there's no one in the pit lane. We're passing Perez, and that's it. So we're down to P16 with 5 laps to go. And this is all for position. How did that happen? Well, we are on super fresh softs. We should be technically faster than all these guys in front. We're definitely going to get past Stroll on the straight. That'll put us up to P15, past the Aston Martin. So we've got pretty much 4 laps to make up at least 5 places if we want points. Okay, this is good. They're fighting up ahead, so they should slow each other up. And we can get at least one of these guys nice and cautious into the hairpin, put the power down, pulling ahead of Bortoletto in the Audi. And we've got Albon and Lindblad ahead. We are getting low on battery, but we're going to have to try to get past these guys as soon as possible. We should have more grip on these tires. Just try to sneak up the inside, side by side with the Williams. We've got the outside, going to put the power down, and that's up to P13. 2 cars in a couple corners. So Lindblad just in front. We should be running a similar pace to him. Hulkenberg is up the road 3.5 seconds on older mediums. He should be a bit slower, and he's right behind an Aston Martin. So there is a chance. It's just, it's gonna be tight. On to lap 27, 2 laps to go to try to get back into the points. We are gaining consistently on Hulkenberg. We made up over a second in just a couple corners, but we really need to turn up the pace here. Albon is just behind. We cannot afford to waste any time battling with the Williams, and it would be really nice if these guys up ahead would start fighting, because we have 2 cars to get through, and then we need to get past the Aston Martin as well if we want to get into the points. This is going to be tough. On to the final lap. The window for points is closing. It's maybe possible to get Hulkenberg, but even if we can manage that, whatever Aston is in front of him, I think is just going to be too far. Ah, this is brutal, dude. Pole position. I mean, we're in a slow car, but there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, I mean, way too far back to even consider getting one of these places. Around the hairpin for the final time, into the final corner on lap 28, right behind these guys, but not enough to make anything happen. We started on pole position, and we end up outside the points.
The team were too conservative. We need to change.
That is really bad. I don't even know what happened there. Well, we did beat our teammate, so that's something good to take away. I mean, he was down in P20, so we smacked him for sure. But that is like, that sucks, dude. That's so annoying. Oh yeah, there we go. The whole top 6 actually did a 1-stop. I didn't think that was possible this early on. Usually the car development is not good enough to make that happen, like the tire wear upgrades and whatnot. But I mean, I don't think our strategy was that bad. Maybe we should have tried to extend and just do the 1-stop, but I think that definitely killed us. I was defending those positions thinking they had to pit again, you know? That was dumb. Well, definitely a bit of a disappointing result. I mean, we had no business being on pole, if we're being honest. That was just a complete fluke. But you'd think starting first, you should at least finish in the points. It just kind of all fell apart after that second pit stop. Like, we went into the pits, I think, like P4 and came out P17. Like, I don't know. I guess we just wasted so much time defending. I don't know. Well, anyway, all said and done, technically a pretty good result. We are the second slowest car on the grid. So P13 means we did outperform a lot of other people, which is good. The battery management's starting to click. The way these cars handle starting to click. So P13, right outside the points. I do think points are very close on the horizon. We'll see. We got Japan up next.